Well, I feel like this is a good enough time than any to share my personal experience with Diddy. And so it's going to be interesting because I don't think people are going to expect what I have to say. I come from Washington, D.C., and when you live in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia, Philly, New York area, you kind of hear things about people who are originally from New York, and Diddy is originally from New York. And in the era he was popular in D.C., we was calling him Puffy. He's always been Puffy. Y'all call him Diddy. And from the time I was like a teenager, I always heard stories about Diddy. Everybody knew about Bad Boy. Everybody knew who Diddy was. But one of the things that was circling around the industry from the beginning of time was basically to never sign a Bad Boy. Everyone always knew, don't sign a Bad Boy. Don't mess with Puffy. Because Puffy is not only a gangster, he comes from gangsters. His father was a gangster. Diddy's a criminal. Yeah, he went to college. He was a party promoter. But so many bad things was happening to so many different people when they dealt with him. I was hearing it back then. I'm 44 now. I graduated from high school in 1998. If you had older relatives, maybe older siblings, cousins, something like that went to college with him or was the same age as him, you heard stories about him. So I was always told to stay away from Diddy. Just like I was always told to stay away from R. Kelly. The entire industry has always known what kind of person Diddy was. And Diddy is not the only person who does freak-offs. The freak-off concept is not a new thing. This is something that's been happening inside of the entertainment industry for a very long time. And anytime someone mentions that these type of things were happening, these people were written off as crazy. I used to be a recording artist. I was a recording artist before I was a model. And even when I started inside of the modeling industry, I tried to tell people the entertainment industry is not what you think. People aren't as wealthy as you think. People aren't as honest as you think. And a lot of people are doing a lot of things for sexual favors. And when I said this, back when I was younger, back when I was rapping, back when I was a model, people wrote me off as crazy. My personal experience with Diddy is as follows. I stayed away from dude. Period. Women were always told to stay away from him. Women who were around him saw how he treated other women. So if they got caught up in anything that had to do with them, it was their choice, and they chose it because of the money, the fame, and the careers that they wanted to have that they believed that Diddy could give them. But anytime I say that, it's don't blame the victim. So when are we going to hold women accountable for making these choices, for choosing this? Because you wanted money, fame, and a career. Why is that okay? Why is it okay to make yourself a victim of someone you know creates victims just so you can get money, fame, and a career? That's why so many women were entangled with R. Kelly. You want the door open for you, so you're going to have to open your legs. This is something that we learned early. It's a lot of women inside of the entertainment industry who are pass-arounds because they did this in order to become someone. So I was always taught, don't sleep your way up to the top. Don't sleep your way into the kind of fame and kind of money that you want. I was always taught that. And I'm glad somebody taught me that. But then again, when you seen it with your own two eyes, how could you become a victim of this? And again, I'm not victim blaming, but this is what y'all going to call it. Because the second someone holds women accountable for doing this, for putting themselves in close proximity to a monster who abuses power, even if it's just a side of them, what does that say about you as a woman? I know, victim blaming, right? You always say that. Women always say that when women are trying to hold other women accountable for stuff. You perform sexual favors, when you do all of these things because you want money, fame, and a career. This is what happens. Last year I made a video and I said Cassie was Diddy's side chick and she humiliated Kim Porter. Because in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, Philly, that was the rumor. When he first started dating Cassie, that's what everybody was saying. The rumor mill was that Cassie was Diddy's side chick and Cassie knew that he was dating Kim. And she saw how he was humiliating her and thought it was cute. She was young and dumb, but she wasn't young and dumb forever. She was with him for a long time after that. At some point, she grew to realize what he was doing wasn't right. Not just to her, but every other female. And this is when y'all start throwing in the grooming and he did this and he did that. Yeah, he's a pig. But we still got to hold women accountable for knowing that he was a pig and still dealing with him anyway. Because at the end of the day, you still had a choice. I had a choice. I could choose to be around Diddy and try to get him to sign me and get him to help my music career, or I could try to do this another way. It is a choice, and these women chose this. They're choosing to go to the freak offs. They're choosing to do drugs and alcohol. They're choosing this for a reason. It's because they feel like he is their only way to get the money and the fame and the careers that they want. And that's what women need to stop doing. Because he ain't the only one. This is what they do in the industry, and they've been doing this for a very long time. Some of us gave up our careers. I gave up my singing and rapping career because I knew I had to give up too much of myself to continue doing it. I knew I had to sell my soul, sell my body in order to continue to do it. People were like, oh, you got a beautiful singing voice. You was a good rapper. How come you didn't keep up? Because I knew what I was going to have to do in order to get what I wanted. And everybody's coming for Jay-Z. I want you to think about the significant age gap between him and Beyonce. Just let that sit with you. Y'all get on R. Kelly all the time, but you don't realize that most men inside of the entertainment industry or any man of power, a lot of them are pervs. And they think the age gap between Jay-Z and Beyonce is normal.